Take us back to the first moment that you stumbled across Dave's farm.
So it was actually, I think about 4 years before we ended up buying the site. I was on a 10-mile run exploring the forest and exploring new areas, and came down this bridle path thinking I was in the middle of nowhere, and I just saw this spectacular concrete frame barn, derelict. Well, I think initially, I suppose we spent probably the best part of 15 years living in Hackney, Stoke Newington, Shoreditch, and when the children were younger, we always had this vision that we would be this Shoreditch family and we'd stay living in central London. But as they got a bit older, got involved in sports, loving the outdoors, my daughter started at forest school. That's when we started to look further afield. And I think the attraction of all of the outdoors, the forest, the running, the walking, that's what really brought us out here.
Visually, Brackenwood Lodge is very striking. When you started the design process, where did the idea come from?
I think first and foremost, it was finding a way to work with this vast structure and having a layout that could really celebrate the volumes within it. And what really unlocked that, and it wasn't an obvious solution at the beginning, but it was to have this central atrium space. So you enter into this atrium, you have the more private parts of the house at the eastern end where the sun rises. So your kitchen, utility, gym, dining room, upstairs bedrooms. Then you open up into this double height atrium space, and then you move through to this large living room, 4-metre high ceilings, 900 square feet, with this huge expanse of glass overlooking the Lee Valley and the sunset.
Architecturally, the building hovers above the ground. What was your vision behind that?
We wanted to come up with a building that was both striking, architecturally modern, but equally that sits comfortably in the Essex landscape. So we took the inspiration from the old Essex barns that are coated with black tar. Now that's a very striking, contrasting form sitting on this really natural organic base. And so the concept here was to create this floating deck around the building with chopped timber from the woodland that we're managing underneath, overlooking the Lee Valley and the sunset, and then this veranda outside. So I think the key really behind that design, more than the aesthetics, was actually the planned form of the building.
You've used some very modern stylings in the interiors, which isn't something that we often see in the local market for a house of this nature. Is this a vision of yours in terms of what a country home should look like, or is this more down to your personal preferences and requirements?
So as a minimalist, designing a family home takes an element of risk and bravery. And I say that because people will often associate minimalism with quite cold and stark spaces, and that's not what you want from a family home. Yes, we've got polished concrete floors, but with the underfloor heating, it feels warm and soft when you walk barefoot. Yes, there's these large expansive surfaces, which in the wrong context could feel quite cold and stark, but with the natural lime hand-painted finish, it brings a real warmth to the interior. So each of the principal rooms has a fully glazed façade, which connects the woodland with the interior. And then you've got the natural oak, which again softens it.
So the house sits on 4 acres, which is a huge transition from the kids' early memories of growing up in Shoreditch. How have you adapted to living in so much land and utilised it and made the best of it?
The most fun aspects is throughout the summer months, we have 2 really large bell tents out through the summer. The kids host countless camping sleepovers, sitting around the bonfire, watching the sunset, even to an extent where we've had large parties, almost festival-like. So yeah, living out here is it's a dream really.
Having looked around the house, I can see that you've designed it with entertaining, at the forefront of your mind.
I mean, we talked about the scale of the building. I mean, it's a 5,500 square foot house, but in reality, it's the volume of an 8,000 square foot house. We could have a huge amount of people here, all of the spaces flowing together. For example, when we first moved to the house, we had my wife's birthday here. I think we had 150 guests. Upstairs is where it's a bit more private and a bit more cellular. So we've got 2 master suites, around 600 square foot each, 3 en-suited bedrooms with dressing rooms, which are the children's rooms. Now the concept of this twin master suite was something quite new for us here. And the reason behind it was that we wanted our guests, our friends, our family, when they come and stay with us, stay for a bit longer, come and enjoy this place. It's almost like they're coming away to a forest retreat.
Some people moving from London worry about connectivity when they move to the countryside. What's your commute like?
My practice is in Shoreditch, so I go in through Liverpool Street. I commute 3 times a week. and that's roughly about 30 to 40 minutes commute into Liverpool Street.
So I know the house has been in high demand from film and production companies. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so this is a really fortuitous and unintended circumstance we found ourselves in. We get a lot of requests to do film shoots and photo shoots here. And in the last year, we've had filming with Jason Statham, singer Georgia Smith, astronaut Tim Peake, Davina McCall, and fashion photo shoots with the likes of Vogue and Net-a-Porter. And it's really not that much work for us. It's 2-3 days a month, and it goes a long way to covering our school fees.
Scott, I've really enjoyed spending time here with you and listening to your story of how you've delivered a humble hay barn into what now stands as Brackenwood Lodge. Thanks very much for having me. What would you say is your proudest achievement in terms of delivering this project?
I mean, we get a lot of compliments when people come in here, and I must say I tend to feel a bit more embarrassed or awkward than proud. But I'd probably say for me, the thing I'm most proud of is that when you're trying to create something that's architecturally striking, you often fail to deliver the warmth and the comfort of a family home. And I think in this project, we've really delivered that.